Hey guys, this is the Saigami Project and my name is Andrea Otilia Veres, aka Sunny, creator of the manga series Saigami, published and serialized in Saturday AM, the bi-weekly digital manga anthology. So, this is my second live stream, and once again, I had no idea how to start it, so I hope that now everything is working out just fine and you can hear me. I'm gonna take a look at the chat, and yeah, I just hope that it works out. I'm still a noob when it comes to live streaming, so we'll see. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes before I start drawing. Okay, I'm also looking at the chat on my tablet. I can see a few people saying hi. Jada's eating, Janemba Gaming, and Soul Shark. Hello and welcome. I hope you're still here. And yeah, I will be starting drawing. I'm just gonna be waiting maybe a little bit, hoping that maybe more will join. And yeah, I hope you can hear me well and you can see everything well. If someone could put that in the comment, that would be great, so I can be sure that the stream will be enjoyable, visible, hearable. And then I will start drawing. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a lag on my tablet, so I hope you don't have that. And everything is just fine. So before I start drawing, as you can see, I have a drawing monitor in front of me. This is an XP pen. Stream is crystal clear, says Soul Shark. Thank you, that's perfect. Awesome. So what I'm using to draw is an XP pen 15.6 drawing tablet. It's sort of like the Wacom Cintiq. It's a much cheaper type, of course, but XP pen is a really good brand. I'm really happy with it. If you're interested in this tablet more in details, I made a review and an unboxing video, so you can check that out. That video also has the links if you're interested in checking it out. So yeah, and I guess I'm gonna start drawing and hope that people will join in. I started a few minutes late, so I hope that they will realize that it already started. So, in my previous live stream, Zoltan Leonard, hello there, hello! Once again, my Hungarians are on board, yay! So in my previous live stream, I drew Seno from Apple Black because that was what people requested. At this time I came more prepared. I actually asked my patrons on Patreon to pick a few characters they would like to see me draw. So I'm gonna be doing sketches of those characters. So basically it's gonna be a fan art drawing session. I probably will be only doing refined sketches and not inking and colored artworks, although I'm not sure at the moment. I kind of will do it on a whim, I guess. Yeah, first of all I'm gonna lower the music a little bit because it kind of disturbs me. I don't want to do the drawing in full silence because that can be awkward sometimes, so I prefer to have some music on anyway when I'm drawing, but yeah, it seemed a little bit loud to me. But I hope you can hear me properly. So yeah, at the moment I have 4 characters picked by my patrons. I'm gonna do those sketches and we'll see how fast I can draw, and if we still have some more time, I'm gonna be drawing your requests, I guess. I'm not sure how long the live stream will be. I don't want it to go over 2 hours because I guess the last live stream was a little bit too long, so I will try to keep it under 2 hours. So yeah, I already have some reference images here. So the first character is going to be Killua from Hunter. I think the Kamni Afolabi says, "Hi Andrea, hi Kamni, nice to see you here." So yeah, I'm gonna be drawing Killua from Hunter, because the X is silent. I have no idea why, but as far as I know, it is. So yeah, I'm gonna put the reference image of him here on the sidelines, because I'm not a fan of Hunter, so I don't know how he looks from memory. I started watching one of the anime, I'm not sure if it was the old or the new one, but I started to watch one of them. So I know a tiny little bit of the character, but nothing too major. And my tablet is having a little bit of a lag, but I hope that's just a temporary thing and it won't disturb the stream. So yeah, I'm gonna be drawing Killua. Once again, I'm gonna start with a very rough sketch layer. And since I don't really know too much about the character, of course I did look up some reference pictures, but that doesn't really say all about the character. I'm just gonna go with, I don't know, your typical, usual poses. I'm not really sure. He seems like a cool dude. Like, I remember I pretty much liked him when I watched the anime, the first few episodes. Like, he was the only likable character for me. At least I remembered his name. Of course, I remember Gon's name, but the rest of the characters, no, I didn't get so hooked on, so yeah. And of course, if you have any questions in the meantime while I'm drawing, be it about the drawing, about Saturday AM, about Saigami, anything, just write a comment and I will keep checking the comments and I will answer them. I know that Killua has a skateboard, I think, so yeah, I'm gonna be including that. I'm gonna move the layer a little bit higher so I won't cut him in half in the waist area, because that makes the pose a little bit awkward. So as you can see, this is just a very rough sketch at the moment. I'm gonna refine it on a second layer. I just want to lay down the basics for the pose. I'm gonna flip the canvas. His shoulder is a bit edgy here, so I'm gonna correct that. And move his head. Yeah, that's one of the things I really like in digital, that you can make adjustments like this so easily. Of course, I'm still a fan of traditional, like I'm always doing my pages traditionally, but yeah, digital can be very convenient. Also, the software I'm using is Manga Studio EX5. If you're not familiar with it, I think they changed the name, so now it's Clip Studio, or I don't know what's with that. So, but yeah, what I'm using is still Manga Studio 5. So that's what you see here. And I'm using the G-Pen tool, and I switched the layer color into blue, because that's the sketchy color, I guess. Like, you know, whenever I'm using whenever I'm working on my traditional pages, I start sketching with the blue mechanical pencil, so I guess blue is the right color. Blue is a nice color to begin with. Like, I like to work with blue and I like blue stuff, especially recently. This place says hi Viz, please. Viz yeah. I probably will have trouble pronouncing your name, so I'm very sorry in advance. I like to butcher English words to begin with, so yeah. PT says, hey, hey! That's great, more people are joining. Okay, so I have a very rough sketch for the body. I'm gonna do a rough sketch for the page, for the face. I can't English. So yeah, those of you who don't know me or don't know much about me, I'm Hungarian, so English is not my native language. I'm sure you can hear that. I know I have a funny accent. Like, oh, Peter farts. Farts? No, Peter arts. That's a good username. Says hello Peter. So yeah, English is not my first language, so please bear with it. And yeah, I am the creator of the manga series Saigami. It is published and serialized in Saturday AM, a bi-weekly digital manga anthology featuring the most diverse comics from all around the world. Literally, we have creators from New Zealand to Nicaragua, so literally every corner of the world. Of course, if you're not new to the channel, you probably heard this already, and I really hope that you already seen at least a few issues of Saturday AM. Maybe you're even a subscriber, because you can subscribe to the magazine for just $5 for a whole year, which is a really good deal. I mean, you know, that's not even too expensive, like a price of a menu in McDonald's or something, and you get 20 issues of exclusive comic content and more. Like, not just comics, but we have a bunch of things. Peter R says, someone said it. Yep, fell for it. I see what you did there. It's funny. So yeah, if anyone is joining us now, I'm drawing, as you can see, Killua from Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter. I always said it like Hunter x Hunter because there's the X, but if someone knows, please explain me why you don't pronounce the X. Like, why is it there if you don't pronounce it? I mean, I know in some languages some letters are silent, like the H in French language, but still, it's just weird. So yeah, I'm drawing Killua based on the request of a patron, because in this live stream I'm gonna be drawing a few fan arts requested by my patrons, and depending on how much time we do have left after I'm done with this, I'm gonna be drawing requests of the viewers. Torian Clayton says, hey Andrea, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm enjoying doing this live stream. I'm really sorry that I couldn't do it on Friday, but yeah, I have some personal problems, so I wasn't able to do it. But I'm actually really happy to do it now because, you know, being able to interact with my viewers and working on arts and combining the two puts my mind at ease. It makes me really happy, so it's really nice to relax this way. I don't know about you, but I usually like to do art whenever I have been trouble in my real life, so it's nice to do this now. Link Slicer, oh, I remember you from the previous stream. Hello, welcome again. And Link Slicer writes, you Andrea, how are you today? I'm good, I'm good. I'm really happy to do this live stream, and I'm happy to see you all here. Kamlia Falabi says, there's something about the way you draw eyes that just makes it recognizable, your style. Thank you. I'm really not sure what it is, but yeah, it's always a good thing to hear when someone says that, oh, I recognize that it was your artwork or your style. Of course, you know, often I get the question like, how did you develop your style and stuff like that? And I'm like, I kind of did not. I was just drawing. I was just looking for ways to improve my art. And yeah, here I am. Yeah, no, that hand looks really awkward, so I'm gonna erase it. The Ink Slicer writes, I had a terrible drawing accident a couple weeks ago. Ooh, that doesn't sound too good. Like, accident happens. I'm really not sure about that hand, it kind of feels forced. So, I'm gonna play around a little bit with it. Once again, the wonders of digital artwork. Or, I guess I'm not gonna do his hands like this. Erase this whole part. And I'm gonna do a little bit of foreshortening. And we'll make him do a bro fist, I guess. I'm not sure how much that is in character for him. He's gonna be doing that now. Yeah, that's just not right. You know, sometimes I can get things right at the first try, sometimes not, so trials and errors. Move the arm out a little bit. Let's see the comments. Romeo Mihalovic. Hi again, I'm curious how this drawing gonna turn out, because you did a freaking great job in your last stream. Thank you! I'm very interested too. Of course, if you're joining late, the drawings in this video will only be sketches. Of course, not sketchy like this, I'm gonna refine them a little bit more. I'm not gonna be doing a full inking, I guess, but I will be doing at least 4 different drawings. So yeah, we'll see how they will turn out, because all 4 of the characters are characters I'm not familiar with at all, so it will be interesting, and some of them are very, very far away from my style, so this is quite a challenge for me. Like, you know, it's always funny when I basically put up requests that, okay, pick a character, I'm gonna draw him or her, and, you know, secretly I hope that it will be a character I know or I like or that matches my style, and then boom, characters are picked that I have no idea who they are, I have no idea how to approach drawing them, so yeah, it's always fun to have challenges like that. You know, that's how you can improve and grow as an artist, so I'm always up for a good challenge. Of course, Killua is not that much of a challenge because I guess from the 4 character he might be closest to my style, I guess. I mean, at least he's like a typical shonen character by the looks of it, so yeah. I'm still not too happy with that arm. I'm gonna raise it a little bit. Gonna do a little bit of erasing here and there. I'm still gonna move him around a little bit. Yep, foreshortening is not easy. Sometimes I can make it work right off the bat pretty easily. Sometimes I have to put in a little bit more effort. Let's see the comments. Link Slicer, I had a stack of comic pages ready to enter Summer of Manga. I had them sitting on my desk, left to get food, came back and found my bottle of ink fell off my desk shelf and spilled on the pages. Yikes! Yeah, that's like the worst that can happen when you're working traditionally. All the way through, like I could poke my fingers through the pages. Ooh. And just like that, I had nothing. Yeah, well, I can advise for that is never leave your ink bottle open on your desk. Like that can be dangerous. I had issues like that too. I didn't spill it all over on my pages. There were some pages I had to redraw because of that, or partially. But yeah, never leave an ink bottle just like that on your desk. Especially if you have pets, like cats, dogs. Yeah, that's a dangerous combination, so yeah. But you know, you can be optimistic and think about this as practice. Of course, now you will have to redraw those pages, but you already did them, so you can do it again, and this time you can do it even better. So try to be positive. It was a hard-learned lesson, I guess. Peter Arts, do you have any advice on building a portfolio? Did you have to show one to get a job in creating comics manga? I'm trying to build one these days. To be honest, I'm not that experienced with portfolios. You know, obviously your portfolio should show your best artworks, and it's best if it provides different materials. Like, you know, you want it to showcase all of your talents and skills. So it is worth to mix in all different stuff. So, you know, if you have character designs, that's great, but be sure to include, you know, drawings of environment or backgrounds, realistic things, things in black and white, things in color, all sorts of things. Because, you know, it is always good if the company or the employer you're submitting to can see that you're able to work on different kind of artworks or different kind of projects if it's required. And of course, for example, if it's for a comic publisher, be sure to include actual pages and all sorts of pages. I have more experience with pages, you know, so it is always good to have pages that are showing environment and background drawings, action-y pages that are focusing on emotions, or maybe on silent pages. Like silent pages, I think, are amazing because, you know, it's one thing to tell a story with text, but if it's just told by pictures, that is incredible. So yeah, and maybe, you know, if you have a first chapter already from a comic, that can be good because they can read it and they can rate your storytelling skills as well. But of course, I wouldn't include like thousands and hundreds of artworks and pages in the portfolio, because usually companies have limited time. They will just take a look at your portfolio. They probably won't start reading a full volume of manga, so, or comic. So I guess it's best to keep it short, like, you know, quality over quantity. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Just be sure to show your best skills, and you know, it's always good to include something that that is more special to you. Like, you know, even with comics, the best is if you do stuff only you can tell, or approach things in a way that is special because of you. So if you can include something in your portfolio, I'm sure you will be able to stand out. The ink slicer, pretty much the entire comic was gone and couldn't reach the deadline. Alright, the deadline. Yeah, that's more tricky like that. But I'm starting it over again and just decided to post it somewhere else. Like Freddy always says, don't wait to join Saturday AM, just get it out there, and I'm liking this attempt a lot more than my old. Yeah, it's kind of the same as with the portfolio. If you have your content ready, you can just show it to the world. And you know, it's always better to have content out there, because there are so many people who are like, oh, I have this idea, it will be the next Naruto, it will be the best thing, it's the biggest comic ever created, but there's nothing of the story, not a single sketch, nothing. And you know, everyone can say that, oh, I have the next $1 million idea, but if there's nothing of that idea, it's just an idea. So yeah, I can only recommend to go out there. And you know, there always is a chance to join Saturday AM. Like, even if it's not this Summer of Manga, there will be Summer of Manga next year. There might be other contests. So as long as you keep drawing, you keep practicing, you keep improving, learning, growing as an artist, as a storyteller, as a comic artist, the platform doesn't really matter. And you know, every employee, including Saturday AM, is more likely to pay attention to you if you can actually show results and content that is already there and not just an idea. Let's see, Grimheim XX at the ink slicer. Maybe this will cheer you up for Summer of Manga. It was not needed that you finished a whole comic chapter. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Obviously, admittedly, I didn't read the rules for Summer of Manga. So yeah, I guess Grimheim can tell you guys more about it, because I know that she's in Summer of Manga, and you will be able to read her comic in the next issue of Saturday AM, which will come out this weekend as far as I know. So yeah, here we have a Summer of Manga entrance, so yeah, be sure to check it out. And of course, if you're talking about Saturday AM and Summer of Manga, issue 88 of Saturday AM already launched. It is available for subscribers or just single purchases, and you can actually read the first entries of Summer of Manga 2018 in it, and they were pretty good. So it is absolutely worth to check them out. I can only recommend them. And of course, the other content in the issue were great as well. And of course, if you're not interested in publicating in Saturday AM, but you have other platforms for your comics, now you can promote your stuff with Saturday AM. Like, we do have advertisement pages, and you can start buying ads at Saturday AM for just as low as $10. And it's not just a one-time ad, it's a permanent ad in a magazine, which reaches hundreds and thousands of readers all around the globe. So if you want to have quality advertisement for your comics, for your blog, gaming site, live streaming, YouTube channel, you name it, Saturday AM might be just the perfect place for you. Nero says, látom megy az angol. Hát, volt rá időm, igen. So Nero said that he can hear that I'm good with English. Yeah, I had my time to practice, I guess. I'm still not perfect, like if you're a native English speaker you can hear probably that even though I'm trying to speak fluently, I butcher off a bunch of things, but oh well. My English teacher always said that just don't mind the mistakes, just keep talking and no one will notice as much, probably. Let's see, Link Slicer at Grimheim. I'm aware of that, it's just this mishap happened 2 days before the final deadline, which is why it destroyed me. Yeah, that can suck. I'm sorry about that, but you know, this is not your last chance, so keep your heads up. Kamnia Falabi, how do you make backgrounds that look natural and not just a bunch of perspective lines? You know, many times I don't even use perspective lines for my backgrounds. Like, you know, especially beginner artists are so much stressed about backgrounds and perspectives that all they think about are the perspective lines, but that's the only way how you can capture perspective, depth and background in your artwork. You know, sometimes you just need to put things in the foreground and play a little bit with the depth, and that can create a natural feeling background, and you don't even need to do perspective lines for that. Of course, it also depends on the type of background. For example, lighting, drawing, more natural feeling environment like a forest or something like that is easier to play around with than, for example, a cityscape, where you obviously will need a bit more guidance by those perspective lines than in a forest. Yeah, I always say that the best way to draw natural feeling environments is to go out, do photos, draw based on those photos, or you know, you can just hit up Google Earth and take up, you know, different locations, like check out how a street looks, a forest side, a beach, whatever you need. You know, in the day and age of the internet, you can find reference pictures for everything. Take a look at various environments and think about them as environments and not just backgrounds made out of perspective lines. And you know, many times the small details are what make the background look more lively and more natural. It will give the reader the feel of the place, because you know, the small details that will give life to that image will make the reader feel like he or she is there and it's not just a picture created with a bunch of lines and a ruler. So yeah, that's my advice. At least that's how I do things. Like, for example, in Saigami Volume 1, many of the backgrounds are inspired by actual locations in my hometown. Because, you know, those were scenes I grew up with. I've seen them every day, so it was a more personal, it was easier to capture those. And of course I could go out and take pictures of them, so I could even use my own pictures as references. So that was pretty convenient. And it has a nice personal touch as well. Turian Clayton, things will get better at some point, but I understand where you are coming from, but all you can do is smile to the pain like Izuku Deku. Yep. You know, being a comic artist is not easy, so there will be times when you feel like crying and quitting, but you just have to stick at it. And things will work out for better. Ding Slicer, F. Jones, blunt but inspiring. Yeah, he is. He totally is. You know, his honesty is very inspiring. And you can be sure that the advice he's giving you is the real deal. No sugarcoating those words. Grimheim. The last night before the deadline of Summer Manga was hell. I was so close to lose it, but thankfully I managed to finish it. Congrats! And welcome to the world of manga creators. Like, you have no idea how many times I skipped sleep because of deadlines. Like, literally I was driving all night, and at the break of dawn I just put down the pencil, got on the bus, and went to work. Yeah, sometimes I just survive on caffeine. Lampy TZ1, great! Thank you! Link Slicer at Grimheim. What was your pitch summary? Hi, Yumiko. Hi, Andrea. Hi! Nice to see you back. She's another one of the viewers from the previous live stream. I remember you guys. Daisuke Uchiha. Hi, Saigami. Hi, Saigami is my series actually, and my channel username is Saigami Project, but my name is actually Andrea or Sunny. I know a bunch of people are mixing it up. I'm kinda getting used to being called Saigami, but Saigami is my manga series in Saturday AM. But nice to see you here, Daisuke Uchiha. Ink Slicer. Hey, hi, see, I remember you. Hi, see Yumiko at Ink Slicer. Hi. Grimheim. My literal pitch was The Pillars of the Earth meets the Sacred Blacksmiths. My story is set in historical times and has Jeanne d'Arc as the protagonist. That's really cool. I'm really looking forward to reading that. Hi, say Yumiko. I remember you too, so nice to see a familiar face. Yeah, I remember you guys too. It's really nice to see you here again. Okay, I'm gonna put this layer away. I'm gonna be doing a tiny little bit more details in the eyes. And that will be pretty much for it for Killua. At least, you know, this is a sketch. Like, if you're just joining, I will be doing digital sketches in this live stream. The characters were requested by my patrons. And after I'm done with these characters, and we still have time, I will be taking your requests. Let's see how much time I will have. I'd like to keep this live stream under 2 hours, so I'm really not sure if we'll make that or not. Alrighty, so here we have Killua. Yeah, this is my very first time drawing Hunter x Hunter, I guess. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna save this canvas. I'm gonna name it Killua. No? Yeah, that's how you write it. Yep, and I'm gonna open a new layer. I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna take a look at the comments. Daisuke Uchiha. Oh, I don't know your name. It's just easy to call you Saigami. Yeah, I guess because, you know, it's my channel name, but yeah, Saigami is the name of my manga, so so yeah, usually just call me Andrea or Sunny. Like Frederica and my coworkers at Saturday AM like to call me Andrea, and my friends are calling me Sunny. And here we have the next character, and I can't remember his name. He's from JoJo, and he has some sort of Italian sounding name, and this is the weirdest facial hair and hair combo I ever seen. So I'm gonna be drawing this guy, and this is gonna be quite a challenge because only a few manga are as far away from me as JoJo. I see Yumiko says, I saw your live stream pop on my phone and I was so excited, but I was having dinner. I couldn't come earlier. Yeah, I guess the timing might not be the best for everyone, but you know, my viewers are from so many time zones that it's kind of difficult to find a time that is fitting for everyone. including, you know, my time zone, because I know that the majority of my viewers are from the US. And, you know, currently I'm in Hungary, so yeah, it's a little bit difficult, because there's at least 6 hours of difference, so it's starting to get pretty late here, right? It's only the afternoon for most. Vampy TZ1, how to create a character. It depends, I guess. I do have a video about creating unique characters and how to start creating characters, I think. Not my most recent videos, so they are kinda old, but yeah, if you're interested in more depth in the topic, I could recommend you to check out those videos, because that's a very big topic. Like, I could talk about creating characters for hours and hours. You know, sometimes it's the design you have first, sometimes it's the story of the character and the design is only secondary because it's not so major regarding the story. Sometimes you have the story and you create the characters fitting for that. It always depends on what your main point with the story is, I guess. At least that's how for me. I had cases where I created the story first, the characters later. In some cases I had the characters first and created a story around them. So it always depends. Is it his hair or is it part of his clothes? I have no idea. It's kind of weird. Oh well. Let's see, where are we at the comments? Hi, see you, Miko. Do you know anything about Summer of Manga? Project said that you would continue it through the summer. Do you know when the deadline will be? You can see the deadline at the application site, as far as I know. Like, I think, I didn't check out the application site, obviously, but I think the deadline should be listed there, because, you know, there are several sessions of Summer of Manga, like what we have now is the first string and then the second string, and I think we will have a third string, so the deadline for those will be different, because it's Summer of Manga, so we are taking applications through the summer, so I'm pretty sure the deadline for those who will appear in the magazine in August did not happen yet. But, you know, of course, if you have any questions, you can ask Frederick directly, be it on our Facebook site or through the email address, or if you go to the Saturday M site, you can ask questions there too. So, you know, sometimes it takes time for him to answer, but he surely will answer and get back to you. Yeah, and I'm sorry I can't tell that much about Summer of Manga, but I didn't read too much about the rules and the application. Daisuke Uchiha, I'm drawing too. I'm drawing Sydney from Final Fantasy 15. That's cool. I haven't played Final Fantasy 15. I've seen a few videos and memes and a bunch of cosplays. Yeah, that's cool. And I just can't get over this guy's forehead, I guess. Like, that's... But, you know, in JoJo, everyone's kind of looking weird. Oh, I'm gonna butcher your name, I'm sorry. Damian Ostyova Vidic says hi. Hi. I'm sorry about butchering your name. Chicano 21550. Yeah, I suck with numbers. Kamia Falabi Fater Pucci. Yeah, that's the guy. I don't know his whole name, but yeah, Pucci was in the name. I'm sure, because that's what made it sound Italianish, I guess. Normal Comic Junkie says hello. Hello to you too. Ding Slicer, anything specific that's difficult for you to draw that you would like to improve at? Like animals, muscles, vehicles? etc. Yeah, kind of like in this order. You know, animals are one thing, and so are, I guess, vehicles and muscles, because even if these are things you don't draw every day, if you look up references, you can draw them, especially if it's not for pages and pages, but for just one panel or just one page. But yeah, I would like to improve with muscles for sure, because, you know, if you take a look at my comics, none of the characters are really muscular. So, for example, nothing like this, like in this JoJo, or, you know, like Dragon Ball-esque or Toriko-ish muscles. I can get away saying that, oh, that's my style, but that's bullshit, and I know that. Because, you know, if I want to have diverse cast, I will have to draw different body types, and that should include muscular types. So yeah, learning more anatomy about the proper way to draw muscles. That's something I surely would want to improve at. I'm really bad when it comes to drawing mechas, robots, vehicles, like that. That's very difficult for me, because, you know, that's something I don't really follow to begin with. Like, sure, I've seen a couple of mecha anime, and I enjoy them, like Gurren Lagann, Guilty Crown is one of my favorites, and it had mechas. I liked Code Geass, so yeah, many mecha series that I actually like, but never for the mecha part. And, you know, I'm a girl, so I was never really interested in drawing robots and cars. So yeah, those surely are difficult for me. I enjoy drawing animals though, like when I was a kid, I always draw dogs. Yeah, I was the one drawing dogs, my sister was drawing horses, and that's pretty much all we drew. Then Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon came, and we started to draw those. But yeah, these are things I surely would like to improve at. And many other things that I currently don't draw, because, you know, I don't just sit down saying that, oh, I'm gonna draw a ship right now, but I know that later on I might and I will need those, so I guess I will have to improve as I go. Let's see. Chicano 250 says nice music. Part of the music is royalty-free music provided by YouTube, but some of the songs are actually composed by Matthias Terre, alias Madness, who's a German music composer. He's the one providing the usual music for the channel. He also did songs for Saigami, like he did character themes and the main theme for the trailer you can see on my channel. So some of the songs are his, and he's incredibly talented, so hands up to him. Normal Comic Junkie. Hey Sunny, do you know about manga magazines like Weekly Shonen Sunday or Weekly Shonen Magazine? If so, what are manga you like from those publishers? Yeah, I know about them. Most of the mangas I read are from Jump. From the other magazines, I read, Red, Fairy Tail, but we'll read Hiro Mashima's new series. I read Attack on Titan. What else? Shoot. What else do I read? Many of the series actually finished that I read. Like, when it ran, I read Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches in Shonen Magazine. I read back in the day Area no Kishi, or Night in the Area, the soccer manga. I started to read Diamond no Ace, or Diana no Ace, Ace of Diamond. Yeah, it has so many titles. But yeah, currently I'm not reading that much manga because I don't have that much time. But yeah, those are pretty much it. I don't really read seinen titles, I think. Yeah, I wish I could read more manga. Like, There are so many series that I would want to read, but I don't really have the time or the means at the moment to follow weekly series as much. I started to pick up a few manga volumes digitally. Like, I don't know where it ran. I think it was also in Shonen magazine, maybe. By the creator of Silent Voice, or Koe no Katachi. The creator has a very, very interesting new manga, Till Your Eternity, I think is the title. I started to pick up the volumes for that digitally. That is pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't read that much manga recently. And yeah, talking about the music, what you can hear is one of the songs from Matthias for Saigami. I think, yeah, this is actually Ayumi's theme. I already had a video for that on my channel, for Ayumi's character description video, I think. PTZ, thank you. Damian Ostoja Vidic. I'm from Serbia. I knew it. I knew that you were from the area because I recognize the C with a dash over it. So yeah, I could have sworn that you're from one of these countries around Hungary. So yeah, hello neighbor. White Fox Story says, hello first time viewer, any tips on making cover pages? First of all, hello, and I'm happy to have you here. For cover pages, you want it to catch the attention and the eye of the viewer or the reader. So it can be very flashy, it can be a very interesting composition. Of course, it always depends on the type of story. Like, some manga pages are just fine with having the face of the character on the cover page, because, you know, it's so detailed, there's something in the look of the character, in the eyes, and, you know, that's catching the eye to begin with. Some series prefer to work with more dynamic covers, some very interesting compositions, so I would recommend to go with what fits your story and your style the best. And yeah, try different techniques. Like, you know, there are manga creators who use pretty much the same style through the covers. For example, if you think about Bleach, Tite Kubo, he used very simplified design for his covers, but he was very good at designs, and even those simplified white backgrounds made his art pop out. While other creators, for example Hiro Mashima, if you think about Fairy Tail, he kinda does a summary image for the cover based on the chapters that are inside the volume, so that's kinda like a trailer. So you can experiment. And some creators are having very different styles for the covers. For example, I would say that Hero Academia has very different styles for the covers. Even the coloring style, like, at least one of the covers was done with Copics, others were done digitally, and he's experimenting. Some of the covers are like homages for North American comics, so that is also very interesting. Why? Where am I? Chicano 250. You ever thought of learning more Western style? I was thinking about doing studies from Western comics, because they surely are very outstanding when it comes to inking and muscular body builds. So I'm sure I could learn a lot from Western comics. I never actually did studies from it. I don't really read Western comics. I don't want to sound narrow-minded, but there's just something that never really hooked me on in Western comics. So I was always way more interested in manga than in comics. I I do have a few volumes of Spider-Man, for example, because I really enjoy Spider-Man, despite being afraid of spiders very, very much. But yeah, Spider-Man is cool. But yeah, I probably should be doing studies and stuff from Western comics. It's just it's kind of hard to get them in Hungary. Oh, I probably gonna butcher your name. Sorry. Binyamin Muhammadi. What's up, everyone? First time here. Hi, and welcome to everyone who's here for the first time. If you're new and you don't know me, my name is Andrea Varas, aka Sunny. I am the creator of the manga series Saigami, published and serialized in Saturday AM, the bi-weekly digital manga anthology. We have the most diverse creators and comics from all around the globe, including Byte Manga, who's pretty famous on YouTube, so you probably know him, and other very, very talented creators, literally from New Zealand to Nicaragua, from every corner of the world. If you go to my channel, you can check out the links, and you can find a link to Saturday AM as well. You can read some of our issues for free, and of course, if you like what you see, you can subscribe to the magazine for just $5 for about a year, and that will give you 20 issues. That is literally thousands of pages of manga and other exclusive contents. And we also do have a new magazine called Saturday PM, which is a more seinen type series. It had its second issue not too long ago, and it had the debut of Byte Manga's new manga series, Bekasi, in it, which is a very, very interesting and amazing series, so I'm really looking forward to reading more. And yeah, I think I'm gonna change the eyes of this guy, because I think he's a villain in the story, and he doesn't look that evil, so I'm gonna make his eyes a little bit more narrow, I guess, and his eyebrows a bit more angular. He looks kind of stupid, although with this hair, you know. Although, you know, I guess JoJo is not a series where you can tell who's the good guy and who's the bad guy based on the looks, because everyone is looking crazy. Like, this hair is just batshit crazy. Binyamin Mohammadi, cool drawing, thank you. Grimheim, I live for Attack on Titan. Yeah, it's pretty good. I love it a lot too. I'm really waiting for the third season. Third season? Yeah, the third season for the anime. Because admittedly, I prefer the anime over the manga. I read the manga, I read every chapter so far, but nothing beats the anime. Like, you know, it has Hiroyuki Sawano's music, so damn, that's epic. So yeah, Attack on Titan fans on board. I even cosplayed from Attack on Titan a couple of times. Good old times. I'm still wearing my jacket. Like, you know, not only for cosplays, but I like to wear it on the street because I like to pretend to be a cool kid. Torian Clayton, thanks for the fun, Andrea, and I will be back for the next live stream, or if you're still going, I'll rejoin later on. Okay, see you soon and stay cool through the summer. Thank you for being here, Torian. I hope to see you again. I'm not sure how long this live stream will take, so yeah, but I will do another stream pretty soon too, so stay tuned. Grimheim says, hi Binya. Yeah, that's so much easier shortening the names. Ricardo Duron. Ooh, I made it on time. Yep, you did. I'm still at it. And guess what? The next character I'm gonna be drawing is gonna be your pick, so stay tuned. I think. Or did you pick Jojo? I can't remember now. Shoot, I can't remember who picked who. I'm sorry. I couldn't even remember the names of the characters. Like, I probably should have written a list or something, because I just suck when it comes to remembering names and such. Names, numbers, proper English grammar, plural forms. Chicano says, Sunny, try learning from Jim Lee or Robert Marzullo. They are very good teachers. I'm familiar with Jim Lee. I think I follow him on Twitter or Instagram. Or I think so. Once again, me and names. But yeah, I will definitely look at more Western creators, because there's always room to improve and a lot to learn. Seriously, what am I drawing here? Is this his eyebrows, or is this the hair? You don't have hair on your forehead, so... Sweet Jesus. Mathieu Lombert, I don't know, sorry, Lombe? I'm sorry with the names. Love your art style, thank you. Mahabur Rahman, can you draw yourself? Maybe, you know, if you go to my Facebook site, actually the profile picture for the site is a drawing of myself, so I already did that. I think it's up on my Instagram too, not in my profile, but I think I posted it, so it should be there too, I think. I can't remember. I did a drawing for Crunchyroll Expo last year, and we attended Saturday AM, and they asked for images about our creators attending. So yeah, I already drew myself. Of course, maybe there are some small changes in my look, like my hair is a little bit longer now. And the color is slightly different, because I kinda like to change my hairstyle. I'm not a girly girl, but that's on that front, yeah. I like to have different kind of hair colors every now and then. So he does those lines only on that side of his face and not on this, I guess. Probably should have looked up more reference images. Let's see. Mahabur Rahman. Dragon Ball Z, do you like that anime? I used to like it. Yeah, like Dragon Ball was big in Hungary too when I was a kid. You could say it was one of my gateway animes, because that was when I really got hooked on anime. So yeah, I used to be a big fan of Dragon Ball. There was a time when all I drew was Dragon Ball. And then Pokemon and Digimon and other things like that. But yeah, nowadays, you know, I don't follow Dragon Ball anymore. Like, admittedly, I haven't seen a single episode of Super or Kai. Partially, it's because I don't really have time to follow as much animes as I would like to follow. Partially because I'm not that excited about Dragon Ball anymore. So yeah. It's still, you know, one of the animes I used to love a lot. I just don't follow it anymore. I know it's kind of contradictory, maybe. But you know, admittedly, Dragon Ball has its flaws and and everything. And you know, I got older. Maybe my taste in anime changed too. And you know, now we do have such a huge selection of animes to watch that it's not like back in the day when you were watching what you could because we were just happy that we do have access to new series and new content. But now there's such a huge variety and such a huge selection you can access that I think I became more picky when it comes to my animes. Ian Falcon, hi! Nice to see you again! Hasimiko, I would really like to see the main cast of Saigami at the beach as if in our reality. Yeah, that will be a fun image to draw. Many years ago, like in 2006 or 7, I think I drew an image like that. Of course, I'm not gonna show that because, yeah, my art did suck a lot during that time. But I guess it's summer, so I could be drawing an image like that. It could be fun. And in the last live stream, someone asked what kind of bathing suit I would wear, so that would be a good opportunity to show that. So that's a good idea to draw. Ian Falcon, wait, have you done a face reveal? No. Or at least I didn't show my face recently on this channel. Nor in this live stream. And I probably won't do it today. Because... Yep. I'm kind of anxiety-ish when I'm in front of the camera. Like, I'm now comfortable drawing and talking at the same time. That took me quite a while to get used to that. And I'm still not that comfortable, like, talking to the camera. And I know it is recording my face. But, you know, I did a video at my last convention, I think 2 months ago. There I'm actually in front of the camera, so if you want the face reveal, you can see me there. Not in my glory because that was recorded on like the last few hours of the convention, so you literally can see the bags underneath my eyes. But oh well. I guess that's the part of the convention experience. No sleep and a lot of work. Or at least when you are in the artist alley. Of course, if you're just an attender, it's more fun. Of course, you know, I enjoy the artist alley too, because it is a completely new convention experience than just being an attendee or being a cosplayer. Because I used to attend conventions for the cosplay for many years. Like, I was in one of the most popular cosplay teams in Hungary. So, usually the convention was about doing cosplay for me. Good old times. I still miss it. But yeah, drawing is more important to me now than cosplay, so... Link Slicer, aside from your own series, what are your top 3 favorite manga from the magazine? From Saturday top 3. I guess I will pick Apple Black, Z Forever, and who should I pick? You know, there's something I love in our series, like every series has its own appeal, and they are good. So it's hard to pick a third one. And I think I will go with Paradise Down. So yeah, Apple Black, Z Forever, and Paradise Down for the top 3. But all 4 series are really good, and I love to read them. So what series is your inspiration for your manga? Asks Matthew Lombe, I think. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble with the names. When I started drawing Saigami, my main inspiration for this story wasn't a manga, but I was inspired by Final Fantasy X, the game. So for Saigami, I would pick that. But you know, there are many manga series that are inspiring me, be it story-wise or art-wise. My biggest inspiration when it comes to manga are Naruto, because Naruto was the manga that made me want to draw manga. And later on, it was Hiro Mashima's Fairy Tail, and after that Fairy Tail. Or did I say Fairy Tail twice? So, no. I did? No. Oh well. So, Rave Master and Fairy Tail from Hiro Mashima. And later on, Haikyuu became not my most recent favorite, because I would say that's Promised Neverland. But yeah, ever since Haikyuu launched, Haikyuu is one of my biggest inspiration. So yeah, I will pick those. But of course, you know, there are many other manga series that are also inspiring. For example, Attack on Titan sure as hell is inspiring. And some anime series that never had manga series, like, or they did, but it wasn't a manga original. For example, Guilty Crown. I would say that, yeah, Guilty Crown is a huge inspiration as well. And it was an anime original story. Let's see. I see Yumiko. Hi, Ion. Nice to see you again. Ginseng Industries. Hi, Andrea. I have a little question. Is it necessary have to live in the USA to work in Saturday AM? Nope, not at all. I'm in Hungary, and I work for Saturday AM. We have creators from all around the globe. We have creators in New Zealand, China, Nicaragua, Greece, like literally every corner of the world we do have creators from, so it's not at all necessary to live in the USA. Of course, the company is based in the USA, but since we are a digital magazine, we submit our content digitally, so it's not necessary to live in the USA. Of course, if you are in the USA, it's easier to attend conventions, but that doesn't mean that other creators won't be attending. Like, for example, I'm from Hungary, and I was at a convention last year with Saturday AM. So was... my god, me and names. The creator of Dark Web from Saturday PM, he was at the convention, and he flew in from the United Kingdom. So, yeah. We do have creators from all around the globe. And I guess I'm done with this sketch. I'm really not sure. I never flipped the canvas. Yeah, I'm still not sure about his eyes. They are not matching, so I'm gonna fix his eyes a little bit. Maybe the lips too. Still have no idea about this facial lines, hair. It's just weird. I guess I never will get into JoJo. All I know about is from a Gigook video, so... Link slicer at ginseng. No, you don't. It's open to everyone around the world, from the States to Europe, Asia, and any part of the world. Exactly. Neon Falcon, most diverse shonen manga. Damn right. Ginseng Industries. That's pretty good. But first, I need to practice my English and my draw skills. Yeah, that's always good. Of course, you don't have to be perfect in English, like, since we do have creators who are not native English speakers. But yeah, it's it is necessary to understand and to be able to write in English, because that's how you submit your comment. Of course, it will go through proofreading, like all of my pages go through my editor and the proofreading before we publish them. But yeah, you need to be able to understand whenever we do have a meeting, a live chat, or anything, so keep practicing and you can get there. Let's see. Link slicer, my top 3 has to be your series, Apple Black, and Hammer. I'd also put Mutton Chop as an honorable mention if I can squeeze it in top 3. Thank you! That's a very nice top 3, plus honorable mention. I guess my honorable mention would be kinda all 4 series, but if I had to pick a 4th place, for me that will be Bully Eater. Cause yeah, I really like Bully Eater. Link slicer at ginseng. I'm not sure if you necessarily have to speak English to work with them. You kind of have. I mean, that's how we communicate, and communication is very, very important. So yeah, that I would say is necessary. I'm just gonna shade underneath the chin a little bit. Alrighty, I guess that's it for this character. I drew a character from JoJo. What an historic moment. Okay, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna be creating a new canvas. And yeah, I'm gonna be drawing the next character. I'm gonna close the reference image. And it's gonna be this guy from Tiger and Bunny. And I think, yeah, he's Tiger, I think. So yeah. Once again, another series I never seen. My patrons surely picked the challenge for me. Okay, let's take a look at the comments. Let's see. Matthew says, don't bother about my last name, lol. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. I guess I'm gonna shorten the names because I'm just murdering your names here. Dink Slicer, my dad is from Nicaragua. Oh, that's cool. One of our creators is from Nicaragua. So that's pretty good. Ginseng says, thank you very much. I'm from Argentina. Argentina? In Hungarian we say that's Argentina, but I guess in English, yeah, that's Argentina. I tried the test flight coming soon. And good luck, keep practicing both your English and your art, and I'm looking forward to see what you come up with. Hi Yumiko, what body part is the most difficult for you to draw? I always hear that everyone has problems with drawing hands. Actually, I don't really have that much problem with hands. Like, I can draw hands without references. So, that is almost in the cool category, I guess. Of course, I did a lot of studies, and you know, I practiced drawing hands a lot. For me, the most difficult, I would say, let's see. Sometimes it can be feet, and not necessarily a body part, but maybe the muscles, and you know, maybe the shoulder and the armpits area. Like whenever I have to draw a character without a top, or you know, sleeveless clothes, I find that I'm having trouble drawing those muscles around the chest, the armpits, and the shoulders, right? So that can be quite difficult for me. So I usually have to look at preferences for those muscles. I just can't seem to remember them properly. So sometimes I have trouble with that. Yeah, I would think that, yeah, that can be the most difficult for me, interestingly. Like, I know that hands and feet are more complex, but, you know, once you get the hang of how to draw hands, I say it gets easier, and you know, you can always just look at your own hands and draw based on that. You know, you can get those wooden hands. I don't really like those. Like, I think those are too stiff. It's just easier to look at your own hand and draw like that. So yeah. But when did you started to take drawing and writing manga seriously? Because I can tell that you already improved and evolved a lot since you started this channel. I would say that I started to take it very, very seriously at the end of high school. Like, when I had to pick what university I want to go to and what I want to be, I guess, at the end of high school, I already knew that I wanted to draw comics. And that was when I seriously started to look up ways to improve. Until that point, I was just drawing manga. Like, I was drawing, I enjoyed drawing my stories. I was doing Saigami even back then. Of course, it was a very old and very crappy version of Saigami. But yeah, it was still Saigami, and you know, I was just drawing it in a notebook, and I didn't know anything about proper tools or how to draw certain manga techniques properly, and nothing. It was just, you know, I just sat down and drew manga. But yeah, at the age of 17 and 18, I already realized that I need to improve. I want to do this, and that was also partially why I picked the press technician and journalism course to attend at university, because I thought that you know, learning about press and things like that will help me with publication. And yeah, this summer of 2007, that was the first time I received a how to draw manga book from a friend of mine. It was obviously a PDF. Like, we didn't have any access to books like that. There weren't any books available. So somehow he got his hands on a PDF on how to draw manga, and that was how I found that what are the tools mangaka use in Japan, how to do certain techniques. And yeah, that was the time when I started to think more serious about manga, how to improve my techniques, my drawings, my artworks, my stories. And yeah, a year later I made my first publication in Hungary. It was a short story published by a Hungarian publisher. And yeah, after that I got more feedback. I learned how hard it is to do well, especially in Hungary. And yeah, here I am now. Of course, I'm always seeking improvement. I always try to improve my art. Whenever I'm reading manga, I usually read a chapter twice. First for the story, second I go through again the art, looking for techniques, how to tell a story, how to work on compositions. and stuff like that. So yeah. But my starting point surely was at the end of high school. So yeah, that was 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm getting old. Grimheim, do you sometimes struggle with writing the dialogue for your characters? Oh my god, yes! You have no idea. Like, some of my characters are very easy to work with, but some of my characters, I can just hate them anytime because it's just so hard to write them. You know, some personalities are kind of complex, so it's hard to write them, hard to put the words in their mouth. Sometimes it's the way the character speaks. For example, the character Lance from Saigami. If you read the second volume, you already know who he is. If you haven't, he's the character I did the sketch on my Instagram, the last image I uploaded. So he's the guy I'm talking about. And yeah, Lance, for example, has a sort of unique way of speaking compared to his age. And when it comes to him, I always ask for my editor to make sure that he has a consistency in his speech pattern, for example. So yeah, he's very hard to write. So is Reggie, for example. I'm having trouble with these guys. Sean and Naomi, I would say, are way easier, but sometimes even them, depending on what is the context, what is the dialogue about, it can be hard. So yeah, I always say when someone asks me what is the hardest part, and I say storyboard, and yeah, partially dialogues with the storyboards. Ricardo Duran. Oh yeah, it was mine that you are drawing. Haha, yay. Don't worry, Sunny, I only saw a couple episodes. I just really love his outfit design. Oh, okay, I see. So yeah, this guy has an interesting facial hair too. Yeah, it sure looks cool. Just, what kind of hat is that? I guess. Ian Falcon, well, I got to get back to drawing myself, but I catch you guys later. Also, you should do more videos on female body, because I always have problem with the chest area. Yeah, I guess I should do a tutorial on that, and yeah, even in this video I'm just drawing guys, so okay, for my next live stream I'm gonna be drawing females. And once I'm back to drawing tutorials, I'll be sure to cover female bodies as well. Actually I'm gonna move this around a little bit. I never did an undersketch layer. Oh well. I guess I could make this pose a tiny little bit more interesting if he holds his hat. Chicano says, I have problems drawing faces at angles, the cheekbones and forehead. Yep, it's not easy. Once again, keep practicing, look up reference images. Different characters will have different cheekbones and foreheads, of course, and you know, it will look different if they have, for example, a hat on, they have the hair falling over it. So yeah. Many possibilities. Ramoy Forbes. I hope I pronounce your name right. How do we submit to Saturday AM? I'm working on a comic idea and would love to join Saturday AM. Right now we do have Summer of Manga going on where you can submit ideas for one-shot comics. And if you get in Summer of Manga, your one-shot will be published in the magazine. And based on the reader surveys and how you do, you might get a serialization of that set story or an improved or changed version of that. Of course, if you do have a portfolio already or existing chapters of your manga, you can submit those too. Because, yeah, if you already have something, that's always a good point because it's easier for us to look at actual pages than just a story idea. So if you have an idea, work on pages, do the first chapter, do a one-shot, and then you can submit. Of course, I would recommend to join Summer of Manga because for Summer of Manga we are looking for short stories, and short stories are usually way easier to create than, or at least not way easier because sometimes it's hard to create the short stories, but you know, you can work on a short story, you can submit to us, and if you're doing good, then we can continue to work together. I really don't like this, so I'm gonna make some changes here. Yeah, this guy is kind of hard to draw. Peter Arts. Ever done a webcomic, Sunny? Technically speaking, Saigami is a webcomic, I guess. Or you think about other webcomics, like, you know, those when it's just panas, or I'm not really sure. Well, apart from Saigami, I did work on short stories. I wouldn't exactly call them webcomics, so I guess the closest I have for a webcomic is Saigami. I did have a short story, and for that story I did Yonkoma strips, or, you know, when it's just 4 panas, the gag strips, basically. But those are published in a magazine in Hungary, so once again, that's not really a webcomic. So I guess I haven't. Chicano, Sunny, remember when I was drawing Ayumi and I never finished it? I'm so sorry, I feel like I let you down. I couldn't find the time to finish it properly. No, it's okay. I mean, you know, I always very much appreciate when someone is drawing my characters, doing a fan art, be it, you know, for a competition or contest, or, you know, just because you would love to draw the characters. But, you know, it's not like you have a deadline for that or anything. Like, draw it if you enjoy drawing the characters I created, and don't feel pressured because, you know, I'm not giving you deadlines or anything. I will be super happy if you ever finish the drawing, but you know, just the fact that you put effort and time into working on an artwork featuring my characters, that is on its own super important for me, and I really appreciate that a lot. Let's see the outfit here. Boy, this guy has shoulders. Peter Arts. Also, where did the name Sunny come from? That's a kind of funny story, actually. Long story short, my cousin and I always loved to create stories of our own. Like, before I started to work on Saigami, we were creating stories together. Of course, they were inspired by anime and manga, because we used to love that. And we usually had stories where the main characters were basically us. Like, they were inspired on us or on the persons we would want to be. Like, we were just teenagers. So yeah, we created stories. Some of the stories were actually like alternate universe stories. Like, we created Dragon Ball stories, and for other franchise, we created our own characters and such. But there was one story that we took pretty seriously. Like, it was very important for us. And of course, even on that story, the characters were based on us. And yeah, the character that would have been me, I guess, we couldn't find a proper name for her. And one day my cousin gave me a call that I just found out what your name will be. And she said, it will be Sunny, because the bus I'm taking just drove by Hotel Sunny. And she thought that Sunny sounded cool. So ever since that day, my nickname was Sunny. So I got the name after a Hungarian hotel. The irony in the story is that I do work in a hotel. Like, I'm a receptionist by day. So yeah, that's where Sunny comes from. I even made a photo in front of that hotel like 2 years ago, because, you know, it was just so funny that suddenly I was standing in front of Hotel Sunny. So yeah, that's the story behind my nickname. Solaris, I would like to start making webcomics. Do you think this would be a good way to get my name out there? Do you think it would be better to start drawing for YouTube and then trying to make a webtoon? It depends. You know, drawing to YouTube can be very, very time consuming. Like, it's one thing to do live streams like this, but you know, doing edited videos can take a lot of effort and time. So if you want to draw for YouTube, you have to consider that too. I guess you can combine the two. Like, many are combining it. Like, so am I. So is, for example, White Manga, who does the YouTube videos, but you know, he's also working for Saturday AM. I would recommend you to do what you would enjoy doing. Like, don't feel pressure to do YouTube if you wouldn't enjoy it. Vice versa, if you only want to focus on YouTube, then put more effort in YouTube and you just upload your comic pages to a webcomic site. Because, you know, whichever you pick, or even if you combine them, it will be a lot of work. So be sure it's something you enjoy and you won't feel like it's a pressure or you know, like a mandatory work, because that can lead to burnout pretty easily, and that's something you should avoid at all cost, because, you know, doing comics is very hard on its own. So it's best if you pick a way for yourself that you can be sure you will enjoy and you won't regret it, because there are many who are just doing it because others are doing it, because they think that's the way to fame, or you name it. There are many other reasons, and usually those people burn out the easiest and end up with a lot of regret. But you know, if it's something you deeply enjoy and like to do and have your reasons other than fame or getting your name out there, then it's something then that you will be able to do. Like, for example, I really enjoy doing this live stream because I can communicate with my viewers while working on art, and it really puts my mind at ease. I'm having a great time because it's something I never really did before, because drawing was just a solitary act for me, because I was sitting in front of my desk drawing. But like this, it feels more. It's not just art anymore. It's a sort of community feeling for me, because I'm communicating with you guys, hoping to inspire you. We can talk with each other. It's super fun for me, and it doesn't feel like work or something stressful. On the contrary. Solaris asks, is there a way that we can send you art? Sure. You can use any of my social media basically to send me art. You can send it through Instagram or my Facebook site, or even my email address. I think my email address should be in my YouTube profile, I think. If not, it's saigamiproject@gmail.com. I use Saigami Project everywhere, so it's pretty easy to find me on various platforms. So if you have an art you would want to send me, then you can use any of those platforms. You can even see the links on the top right, left, in the top corner of this live stream. Like, there's the Story Envy, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, Patreon. All of them are under the name Saigami Project. Remoy Forbes. Oh, thanks for the tip. I wanted to enter Summer of Manga, but I don't see the submission dates anymore. Shoot, I really don't know what's with that. I can recommend you to write a message to our Facebook site or directly to Frederick at info@saturday-am.com, and you can ask about that. Or, you know, if you write a comment on our Facebook page, I'm sure you will get a response. Because I got to be honest, I didn't look up the rules for Summer of Manga at the moment, because I had other tasks to do, so I don't have much to do with Summer of Manga at the moment. So I really can't say anything for certain about that at the moment. But, you know, I'm sure that you will get an answer for that. And like I said, Summer of Manga will go through the summer, so it might be that the second string or the second application process is over now, but there surely will be a third time, because, you know, it's just June and there's still July and August. So I surely will think that it's not over yet. Peter says, if I ever visit Hungary, I stay over at Sunny. Yep, it's kind of a rundown hotel, like, you know, it's not the fanciest, but, and you know, it is kind of special. And I'm pretty sure it will be cheap, because it is surely not a 4-star hotel. But the location is kind of nice, like, it's like 2 or 3 streets away from my cousin's place, where I usually stay at whenever I'm visiting Budapest and I'm at conventions. So I can only say that that area is okay. I mean, Budapest is a beautiful city, but not every part of it. But I guess so is every capital. Like, of course, the touristy parts are beautiful and everything, and then suddenly it's not. Let's see. Remoy says, I guess I tried the other submission method you mentioned. Also, what exactly is pilot manga? I'm sorry if I'm asking too many unnecessary questions. No question is unnecessary, I think, or at least that's what I was taught. That, you know, if you don't know something or aren't sure about something, just ask. Nothing wrong about that. Pilot manga used to be our talent search program, basically. There was a private group for it on Facebook, and we had contests every month where people could submit their story ideas, a few pages, and every month we were reviewing every submission. Actually, if you want to improve, learn about how to submit portfolios, pitches, and comic pages for review, I can only recommend you to check out Saturday AM's YouTube channel, because you can still see the best reviews for all of pilot manga entries, and you can find many golden nuggets there, because, you know, it's basically pure wisdom, and you can learn from the mistakes or the effort and success of others. I personally really enjoyed those. We are not doing pilot manga anymore. Currently, the competition we do have is Summer of Manga. We did have March Art Madness, which was an art contest, so it wasn't for comic pages or manga stories. It was for solo art. It was an art tournament where the winner could win an iPad provided by one of our sponsors, Plask. Yeah, pilot manga is not a thing anymore. I'm not sure if it ever will be. We do have some plans. I can't reveal them at the moment. But yeah, there will be always ways to reach out for Saturday AM. And you know, if you already do have a portfolio, you have something to put on the table, then don't be afraid. Submit them. Because, you know, if you have something solid in your hands, it will never hurt to show it. You will surely look at it. You know, if someone just writes, hey, I have the biggest story idea in history ever, we will say that it's just an idea. Everyone can say that. First create something and then show it. Linkslicer, what type of music do you listen to when drawing? I'm more of a heavy metal and alternative rock guy. I listen to a wide variety of musics. Like, I have several thousand songs in my playlist whenever I'm drawing. I also do like rock, alternating rock. Many bands, like, you know, from Linkin Park to 30 Seconds to Mars. I do like a bunch of anime music, like I do have a lot of anime songs in my playlist. I like folk music or folk rock, I would say. For example, Mumford and Sons. I really like their music. And you know, some very, very random music that I like for some reason. I have a few Hungarian songs as well. It depends. And you know, sometimes I pick music fitting for the scene or pages I'm drawing. My only criteria is that whenever I'm working on storyboards, I want to listen to music that's instrumental only. Because, you know, if I'm paying attention to the lyrics, then I can't really focus on writing. So usually when I'm working on my storyboards, I put on something from YouTube, like, you know, like 2 hours long epic music for studying, learning, and stuff like that, or you know, inspiring music from movies, from anime. I also really like to listen to Celtic songs, not songs, but instrumental songs. So yeah, it depends. I'm just focusing on the mood. Sometimes I just listen to whatever. Sometimes I listen to audiobooks while drawing. Mostly when I'm inking or I'm sketching, because that doesn't require too much thinking. But yeah, for the storyboards, I need my undivided attention for that, so it's only instrumental stuff for that. Sometimes even complete silence. Let's see, Chicano says, I'm almost done with my comic page. The horses are a bit hard for me to draw, but I'll overcome that. I box Sunny on Messenger until she responds. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, that's one way to approach me. Yeah, sometimes it takes time for me to respond, but I always respond. So, yeah. But you know, you can message me whenever, and I will do my best to respond. Solaris, thank you for answering my question. You're welcome. And you know, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm not sure what this eye. Yeah. Whoops, that's a little bit big. Let's see. Dikism. How much time do you need to complete a full story to write? I just came, so sorry if anything like this was answered before. No, I don't think I answered this before. Although that's a little bit of a vague question. I mean, a full story, like a complete story. For example, if I think about Saigami, I'm still working on this story, even though I'm 2 volumes in the story. Like, the 2 volumes are already published, the first 2. I'm working on the 3rd, but I'm still working on the story. So it's not set in stone yet. I'm still working to fill in plot holes, to make the story better and everything. So I guess I'm working on a full story until I finish it. Whenever it comes to, for example, a chapter, depending on how long the chapter is, what are the events, how many deadlines I have, it can take up to a few weeks, sometimes a bit longer, whenever I have more breaks in between appearing in issues of Saturday AM. For example, chapter 16, which is the first chapter in the 3rd volume. Boy, I've been working on that for a couple of months now, because it's just so damn hard to write it. Of course, I had several issues that prevented me to actually work on it, to draw my pages, and yada yada yada, you know, there are always excuses. But yeah, I had to move back to Hungary, and a lot of personal stuff. I also had to work on other commissions and stuff. So I'm not saying I was working on the storyboard or the chapter non-stop, but whenever I could, I was brainstorming about how to approach the story, how to write things, and yeah, for example, that took me a lot of time. Sometimes it just comes faster. Sometimes some stories I can finish pretty fast. Like, I had a mancha story, and for that I finished the storyboard just in a few days, and drawing the pages went by pretty fast. Like, I did the whole story in like 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, it wasn't a very long story. It was, I think, I don't know, like 15 pages, 18 pages. So it wasn't a long story, but that was pretty easy. It always depends. I always say that it's best not to rush things, and usually it's for the best if you don't get stuck with your first ideas, but come back to every script, storyboard, and revise them. Like, you know, always question yourself, like, is that the best for the story? Is that the best for the arc? For the characters? For the readers? But yeah, it always depends. I can see a couple messages that are messages retracted. I have no idea what that is. So yeah, I'm a noob when it comes to live streams, so I'm not sure what those are, but never mind. Jason Anderson, I try to draw every day about 4 to 5 hours. Do you think that's enough to start a career down the road? I've only been drawing about a year and a half. Absolutely, that's pretty impressive. You know, if you can keep that up. That's damn good. Like, you know, I draw every day, but there are days where I can't draw nowhere near that amount, so absolutely, that's really good. Just make sure that it's quality practice as well. So you know, whenever you try to improve and practice, be sure to step out from your comfort zone, focus on things that you find are your weaknesses, and learn many different things. And yeah, that's impressive. That's all I can say. So keep it up. That's the amount of practice that can easily get you everywhere. Saying Slicer, ever make facial expressions unintentionally when you're drawing a character? Like if you're drawing an angry face, you make an angry face? Because I find myself doing that. Yeah. I do that a lot. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't really like to draw in public and I don't really like to show my face whenever I'm drawing, because yeah, I do that a lot. Because, you know, it might be just we're giving it our all, we're fully into the drawing, but yeah. Especially when it's some sort of silly face or or a grimace or whatever, it can be kind of embarrassing, but I guess it's fun. But yeah, I realized that whenever I was drawing in school, because that happened a lot. Obviously, sometimes I was even working on my pages for my Hungarian publications, and I was still in school. And yeah, try to explain to your teacher. That was fun. Of course, during that time it wasn't fun, but thinking back of it, it's fun now. Peter Arts, do you have a vague idea about the ending you wanna have? I do. It changed. When I first started Saigami, of course, in that version, many things were different. It was a fanboyish or fangirlish, in my case, story. It had many problems. So when I restarted it for real in 2013, and I entered Saturday AM, I had an idea for the ending, but I changed it. So I do have the idea. I still have many parts in the story that I'm uncertain about. Some might change, some might not. I do have ideas for the ending. I'm not saying it's 100% certain, because I kinda like to change things as I go. Some points of the story are already set in stone because, you know, I'm working on foreshadowing many things. For example, even Volume 1 and Volume 2 had foreshadowings that are important, are going to be important later on. So there are things that I won't be able to change around. The ending I can still play around with a little bit. Not every aspect of it, but yeah, I discarded the first idea I had for the ending. Like I said, sometimes it's best to just discard your first ideas, because even if you think at first that, oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome, that's the way to go about it, but later on you find out that nope, that's not gonna work. And you know, the first ending I had planned, it is kind of funny because I was talking with my best friend, and like she just guessed that, please tell me that you're not gonna have that as his ending, and I was like, shoot. That's exactly the ending I had planned. And yeah, I had to realize that that's not the best ending I can come up with. Like, there's much more potential in the story than to have an ending like that. So I scratched it, I changed things, I changed the story according to that in some points. And yeah, now I'm heading towards a new ending. Alrighty, I'm gonna shade underneath his chin a little bit. Yep, and here we have the sketch for Tiger. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna close the reference. Meantime, I'm gonna look at the comments. Echo, what do you find most challenging artistically? Drawing things that are further away from my comfort zone, I would say. Like, you know, for a long time, I used to draw things that I felt most comfortable with. Like, I was one of those artists who didn't enjoy drawing backgrounds. I had the bad habit of drawing the characters always facing the same direction, using the same angles, the same shots, and stuff like that. So when I realized that, I started to push myself more, try to new things, try for things that are hard to draw, and learn things. Of course, there are always things that I prefer to avoid. Like, I really don't want to draw mechas. But, you know, if push comes to shove, I will do it. So yeah, you know, I can name many things that I'm not comfortable drawing with, but yeah, for me, always the things that are far from my comfort zone. You know, more complex backgrounds, like kind of edgy things, I would say, like you know, vehicles, robots, mechas, landscapes. That, for example, a cityscape, for me that will be more difficult than to draw a medieval scene, for example. Might be because, you know, I grew up in an environment that makes me feel closer to that sort of backgrounds and environments than for skyscrapers, because, you know, I was already 27 when I first seen a skyscraper, so last year. So yeah. Alrighty, for the fourth character picked by my patrons will be Neo from Chikyu Misaki. Neo is apparently this little creature who can turn into a boy. So yeah, I'm gonna be drawing him. I think he's an alien or something, so I guess I should keep the big eyes. Because, you know, he's an alien, aliens have to have big eyes. Unless they don't. Oh well. Dink Slicer Any ideas for comics you have for when you finish Saigami and start a new? Oh yeah, I do have many ideas. Like some ideas I would love to even start while I'm still working on Saigami. Of course, it's not that easy, I know, and yeah, maybe it's it will be just for a short story or something. But yeah, I have many ideas. I would like to draw kind of different genres than Saigami. Same genres as Saigami. Like, I always will be a shonen junkie and I love fantasy-ish settings. But, yeah, for example, I had the one shot. It's available on Saturday AM site, Dreamwalker. That story is very, very deep for me. Dear for me. I'm not saying it's that deep because it was your average shonen, but I would like to draw it in a way that's more complex, more deep. So I definitely would love to turn that into a series. So Dreamwalker for sure. I do have a sports series that I really would love to draw. I already did sketches and character design and the basics of the story for that. It's available for my patrons on Patreon, and that's actually a story I already discussed with Frederick for Saturday AM, so who knows what the future brings. So yeah, and I have other stories. Some of them are just snippets, like, I have like just the gist of the story, or just a small part of the story. I have a story that I actually really want to do because I had a dream about that story. Like, it was like watching a movie in my dreams. And, when I woke up, I was like, shoot, I can turn that into a story. So that would feel kind of personal because of that. But yeah, I have many stories I would like to tell, so yeah, I have a lot in store. Like, Saigami won't be my magnum opus, I think. I'm not saying the stories I currently have are, but I really hope that I will be able to work on more stories, and one day I will be able to say that, yeah, this is my biggest story so far. Something that's, that will be the most important. Something that can be sort of a legacy, if I want to talk big, I guess. Where was I? Chicano, my character's catchphrase is, what, you afraid of a little thunder? He says they before he lights them up like a Christmas tree. Yeah, that can work. Ding Slicer. First ending for my comic, when I started thinking about it very early on, it was very morbid, sad ending, and I thought, damn, I could never leave it on something like that. But I'm thinking too far. Yeah, like I said, first ideas are often worth reviewing and changing because, the first is not necessarily the best. And come to think of it, that's so true for many, many things. Not just comics and drawings and ideas. Let's see. Where was I? Ricardo Duron. How is it that you organize or set up a story arc? I guess it depends. Like, for some story arcs, it is very easy to plan ahead. Like, I know what I want the end point of that story arc to be, so I set up the events to head towards that one point. And in some other cases, it's more messy. Like the arc I'm working currently on in Saigami, I would say that's more messy. Like I know what the endpoint will be for the arc, but the case is that the endpoint is not the most important in this arc, but it's the road and what the characters have to go through, how the relationship, the bonds, and these things change during the arc are the most important part. So it's way harder to work on this arc because, you know, if I were to compare it to a game, I would say that's less linear. So there are many small parts where things can change, things can go off rail, I would say. So for this case, what I'm doing is I'm only focusing on the part that's next, like the next installment. Of course, I keep in mind what should be the main point in the arc, but I'm only focusing on the now. That's what I'm drawing right now, the next installment, and it's easier to tie the plot pieces together later on to make them lead up to the ending point of the arc. In some cases, I do it the other way around. Like I do have the ending point, so I just make sure that everything will lead to that point. Of course, saying it kind of sounds the same, but it's not. It's just hard to explain. But you know, sometimes it's the road that serves the ending point. Sometimes it's the ending point that serves the road leading there. If that makes any sense. But yeah, sometimes I change things on a whim in the very last minute. So yeah. Some parts are easy to plan, some parts are not. But you know, sometimes the things that I do in the last minute on a whim and realize that, yeah, this is way better like this than what I had planned. So I try to be open for changes like that and keep thinking about how to best approach, how to best tell the story, even in the last minute. Also, the tiger drawing came out great. Thank you. I'm really happy you like it. Hi Yumiko. Who's your favorite character in Saigami? If you were not the creator, who would you root for all the time? That's a good question. You know, all of the characters have a special place in my heart as the creator. Because, you know, the characters, most of them are inspired by people I actually know, so it's kind of hard for me to set them apart. But if I think about the story as if I was just a reader, I would say Sean, because, you know, I just like these sort of happy-go-lucky guys. Like, for example, if I think about other series, like in Naruto, it was Naruto who was my favorite. In Haikyuu, it's Hinata. And in many other series, I always root for the happy-go-lucky guy because they are easy to like. But on the other hand, I think I will pick Ayumi because she's also a type of character I can relate to. Of course, I could say that obviously, even though if I didn't want to, or if it was unintentional, Ayumi has similarities with me, although I didn't want to have her that way. Like I tried my best to avoid the Mirisu case or anything like that, and I never really wanted her to be like me. And there are many things we are very different, but there are things that I can relate to her the most. Of course, it's easier to write her because of that. But yeah, I guess I will pick Sean and Ayumi. Of course, if I was a reader, I probably would have a big spot for Reggie, because I usually like that type of character too. You know, the mysterious cool guy who's sometimes a jerk, because, yeah, anytime girls just love those type of characters. And I'm a girl. But yeah. Yeah, I guess it will be Sean and Ayumi, mostly. And later on other characters who did not make an appearance yet. Lance also will be one of my favorites for sure, because yeah, I like this type of character in other stories. Let's see, Link Slicer, Saigami movie or animation, please, pretty please. I would love that, yeah, obviously. Of course, you know, my dream never was an anime or a movie. I always wanted to have a published volume. For me, for some reason, having the book was always more important than having an animation. But of course, you know, having an actual movie or animation, that will be super cool, because how cool is it to see your characters actually move and talk, and, you know, music, because yeah, music is really important for me in animation and movies, so that will be really cool. If I had to pick, I'm not sure if I would want to have a live action or animation. You know, usually animations are better when it comes to manga. Like, live stream are just very hard to do justice for the stories. So yeah, I guess animation. Like, you know, every now and then I like to daydream and imagine scenes in Saigami as if they were animated. Sometimes, you know, I even pick the voice actors that I would think would be fitting for the characters. Like, you know, whenever I'm watching anime, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the voice I imagine for my characters. Sometimes I even like to think about what sort of music I would like to have. Of course, Matthias did an amazing job creating songs for Saigami, so that's pretty much the closest to what I always imagine. But, you know, sometimes it's fun to imagine what kind of opening or endings a Saigami anime would have. You know, little daydreams like that. Jason Anderson, Hirohiko Araki, sorry, wrote a book about writing manga and the way he wrote JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Are there any books, how to draw books, that you reference or recommend? Yes, I haven't read that book you mentioned. I know it's been pretty popular, and I've been thinking about getting it, because there's always room to learn and improve. But my Bible when it comes to drawing manga and creating comics is the book written by Scott McCloud. It's called Making Comics. It's gold. Like, if it doesn't matter if you're doing manga or comics or webcomic, I can absolutely recommend that book. It's so good. You know, it's not focusing on how to draw. Like, it's not your average how to draw manga book where they show you how to draw a nice girl dressed in fancy clothes and stuff like that, but he actually teaches you the basics of comic, like the profession of making comics. That's the title, I guess, but it's just very good. Like, that book will teach you the things that you can't learn in how to draw manga books usually, like how to pick the right scenes for panels, for comics, camera angles, how to use dialogues, how to use backgrounds and various storytelling elements to your advantages. He even has a chapter for the differences between manga and Western comics, and he does a pretty good study basically on what are the differences and how one works better than the other in certain areas. So yeah, that is a book I can only recommend. Of course, there are Japanese how to draw manga books, like the ones I used to learn from when I first got them. Those can be really good because you can learn certain techniques. Of course, many of them are pretty outdated, like, you know, in today's day and age, we are doing many things digitally, so there's not necessarily a point in learning how to draw, you know, every manga effects traditionally, because you can do them in various apps or drawing softwares. So yeah, but yes, Scott McCloud's book, that's my Bible. Like, I read that book so many times. I used to bring it with me in school, and I was reading it over and over and over again to learn, to make sure I'm doing everything I can the best way. Actually, second layer. Oh well, never created a second layer. Let's see. Jason Anderson, also thank you for answering questions. You're welcome. I'm enjoying this a lot, and I'm super happy if I can help you or anyone else by answering some of your questions. Dickies, did you always know you wanted to draw stories, or it just ended up like this? I'm really curious about it because I always liked to draw, but I never thought I want to be an artist until the last months. Yeah, like, even when I was a kid, like a very small kid, I wanted to do stories. Like, be just, you know, of course, when I was a little kid, I didn't think about doing comics. That only come later, but I wanted to tell stories. Like, I was addicted to stories. I was watching cartoons, I was watching movies, I wanted to read stories, I read books. I wanted my mom to read me stories when I was so small that I couldn't read on my own. So I was always addicted to stories. And even when I was playing with my toys, like, I wasn't a girlish girl, so I never played that I'm a mom and I'm taking care of my dolls. I never played with dolls, but I was playing with my toy animals, toy soldiers, you name it, like anything else, just not dolls. I always played stories. Like, I wasn't just simulating real life, like, for example, my sister did with her dolls and stuff like that, but I wanted to play the hero story. Like, you know, I played with the toy animals, and there was a farm, and there was the dog that rescued everyone, and he was the hero. So I was always addicted to stories. And at first, I wanted to write novels. I think I was largely inspired by Harry Potter, because I really got hooked on the Harry Potter stories, and I wanted to write my own novel. And I started stories several times. Like, I started so many notebooks with my novel pieces, but I never finished them. There was one story I almost finished. Like, I had the script, like the short summary and script of every chapter, but I never really finished the story because, you know, I always felt like something is lacking. I wasn't sure if it was my inability to tell a story, or it was something else. And when I was 14, I started to read manga. I started to read Naruto, and that was when I realized that, yeah, this is what I feel like I'm missing. Because, you know, I always was watching animes, and many times I felt like the story in my head is in front of me as an anime. So I realized that maybe capturing my ideas as a comic, like drawing my ideas, not just writing them, will help me to capture my ideas and my stories better. So that's how I started to draw manga. So yeah, for me it was stories first and manga later. But I'm happy I picked this way. It's not the easiest way, Because obviously it will be easier to just write stories. I'm not saying writing is easier, writing is damn hard. I'm still thinking that in a comic it's still the hardest part to write. I'm not just illustrating the comic. But yeah, for me it was always, I always wanted to tell stories. And you know, the fact that someone told me that I can't became my motivation even more. Like in elementary, I had well, a Hungarian teacher, because you know Hungarian is my, I think so technically, yeah, she was my literature teacher. And whenever we had to write essays or assignments, my stuff, nope, I don't want to restart my computer. Thank you. Yeah, Windows is giving me trouble. So yeah, and you know, I usually made up stories for essays. And I remember she scolded me that I'm not a writer, no one is interested in my stories, so I should stop it because she will give me bad grades. So she did. And you know, it's something that shouldn't be that important, but for me it was. And the fact that I'm telling you about it shows that it hurt me deeply, and partially it became my motivation to prove her that screw it. I have my stories, I know I want to tell stories, I can do it. And you know, here I am. I have published comic books. So yeah, I'm still planning to go back to my elementary and kind of rub it in her face, because that will kind of feel good. You know, it's not like, I don't want to brag, but especially a teacher, she shouldn't track down the kids she's responsible for. Because, you know, telling someone that you can't do it because I don't think you can, especially at a young age, that's just wrong. Of course, there's no point in sugarcoating things, and you can guide someone. Like, you probably know how Frederick does if something is not good, but you know, for me, that was just something I just couldn't accept, and I wanted to prove myself even more. Let's see, Chicano, will you ever kill off any of your favorite characters? That's spoiler, you know. So I'm not gonna... Technically I can't answer it in a way that won't give away the answer, so let's just say that yes, there will be casualties in Saigami. I don't want it to be a story where there are no stakes. Because, of course, I'm not gonna go in a Game of Thrones phase or an Attack on Titan way. So it's not like I'm gonna butcher my characters just for the sake of the shock factor or just for the sake of killing them. But yeah, when it is not as necessary for the story, then no character is safe. Dink Slicer, any specific animation studio you'd want to see animate Saigami if you had the choice? Personally, for my own creation, I'd love to have to see Trigger or Gainax adapt my ideas. I think I would go with Studio Wit, or yeah, or you know, W-I-T. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I always pronounce it like Wit. Yeah, I would love to have them, especially since, you know, usually it's their animes that end up with the music composed by Hiroyuki Sawano, and I would kill for that. Like, you know, that would be huge. Like, his music is just insane. So yeah, Studio with Hiroyuki Sawano on board. That would be epic. Mr. 4 Killer, hey girl, you advised me to use a device Huion 1060 Plus. I'm not familiar with that tablet. The one I'm using is an XP pen. I'm really happy with this. But as far as I know, Huion is really good too. Like, before I purchased this XP pen, I looked up reviews on various tablets, various top lists and what people recommend. And Huion is a good brand. So if you're unsure, I would recommend you to check out reviews on it, check comments on Amazon, because you know that will help you, and that will come from people who actually have the experience using the tablet. I personally don't. I never used a Huion tablet. I like to do more reviews on various tablets in the future, and I will be able, but yeah, so far I can't say anything for certain about Huion. Only that I've seen many reviews and Huion was always one of the recommended brands. Not all of their tablets, I think, so it also depends. But yeah, I would recommend to do more research. Sonic Ninja 101 Warrior of Light. Oh, that's a long name. Hey, Sunny. Would you say it better to draw digitally over paper and pencil? Dab on the haters. Yeah, I would say that both has their charm, their pros and cons. Why you see me draw digitally right now is because that's how I can do a live stream, and because right now I don't really have many of my traditional art tools. I would say that digital can be more practical. You know, you can make adjustments very easily. It can make many things faster, easier, especially when you mess up something, and the mistakes will be easier to correct if you're drawing digitally. But there's just something in traditional that I can't give up. Like, I just can't see myself doing my pages digitally, because there's still something that feels somewhat unnatural for me. Maybe it's just a matter of habit, and maybe with time I will be able to get used to digital completely. But yeah, I can't say for sure that I prefer any other the other. Like, when it comes to colored artworks, I think I now prefer to wear digitally than coloring traditionally. Of course, I really enjoy coloring with markers and watercolor, but you know, everything has a price tag when you're working traditionally, and some techniques are just easier to do digitally, faster, easier. But whenever it comes to inking and doing effects, I still have to do those traditionally. So yeah, both has its pros and cons. Let's see. Grimheim. I would go with Vid Studio Audible. Damn right. They also animated Attack on Titan, and that looks simply fantastic. I can only agree. And you know, there are other shows too, like you know, for example, Seraph of the End. The story, in my opinion, was weak, but damn, they sold it because it was Vid and Savano, so it was a killer combo. And they kind of watched that series for the studio experience and not for the story. So yeah. Hi, see you, Miko. Today's chat is great, so many people, all the questions are amazing. Love being here like always, but I'm gonna have to go now. See you next time. Yeah, I can only agree. Today's chat is super awesome, and I'm really happy you were here. And I hope that you were able to join the next stream as well. Yeah, come to think of it, shit, that's pretty late. Like, I wanted this stream to be like 2 hours, and now it's midnight here. It's a good thing I don't have work tomorrow, so I'm gonna finish this artwork and then call it a night after that. Of course, I'm what call it a night because I still have pages to work on. But yeah, for the stream, I guess I really should call it after I'm done here. Thanks, Slicer. I feel like one of my uncles can relate to you on the teacher story. My uncle's teacher always told him he won't live up to anything if he doesn't do what his school expected of him, and he will get a loser job. And as a constraints worker, he's a construction worker now and makes more money his teacher would only dream of earning. His home looks like a rich guy's house. Yeah. And you know, sometimes teachers can be dangerous. Like, not every teacher is a good teacher. Luckily, I had good teachers too, who were supportive, regardless if, you know, they were in the same opinion as me or not. And those are the good teachers, I guess. But you know, some teachers, I think, are just bad teachers, and they are bringing down the kids, and those teachers can be dangerous. You know, I can just say that don't listen to them. Like, haters gonna hate. Some teachers are just like that. But you know, it feels sweet when you can prove them wrong, so it's worth. Chicano, Sunny, where would you go if you go anywhere, and how long would you stay? Obviously I really would like to go for Japan, because I've never been there. I've never been in Asia, so not just Japan, but there are many Asian countries I would like to see. But obviously Japan would be the first on that list. I would like to stay for a short while. Like, I can't see myself living in Japan, because, you know, there are just things that are kind of weird. I'm not saying I couldn't get used to it. But yeah, I guess I would like to go there as a tourist more. There are some countries in Europe that I really would like to visit, like Switzerland, absolutely. I would like to go to Germany. I've been to Austria, but never been to Germany before. And you know, Germany also has a special place in my heart, because I used to grow up watching German TV channels, because that was the only thing I had access to, and that's how I learned the German language, actually. So yeah, Germany for sure. I would like to see Ireland as well. Many countries. There are some countries where I wouldn't really want to go. Like, I'm not sure if I would be brave enough to set foot in Australia. Like, I'm super afraid of spiders, and you know the rumors about Australia. But for example, New Zealand I would be interested in, so yeah. But on my top list, I would pick Japan, Switzerland, Germany, and many places in the US, actually. Like, I've been to the US, but I only seen the convention and the hotel where we're at in the airport, so yeah, I would love to visit more parts of the US and more parts of Canada as well, because I've been in Ontario. I've been there for 6 months. I will go back soon, and I hope to see more parts of Canada, and not just Ontario, but other provinces too. Thanks, Slicer. That's why it upsets me when I hear people bad-mouthing construction as dead-end job when it really pays well. At least from what he's shown me. He worked his way from regular worker to architect. That's pretty impressive. And you know, construction is very important. And you know, I had family members who were construction workers too, so you know, it's a job that's pretty important, can earn well. It's a very, very hard labor, so there's nothing to be ashamed about that. Like, every job is a job. It gets you your paycheck, it gets food on your table, so someone has to do the shitty jobs too, so there's nothing to be ashamed about that. Chicano, what do you look forward to for 2018-19? New movies, video games, TV shows, conventions, or personal things like family? Well, in that order, in movies, Avengers. I want to see the new Avengers movie. Like, Infinity War was so insane that I just can't wait for the finale. And there are 3 other movies I can't name right now. Oh, How to Train Your Dragon! Like, I want to see that so bad. Like, oh my god, like, Toothless was the cutest thing ever. And in the new trailer, he's super cute, so I'm really looking forward to that. And Wreck-It Ralph, I guess. Like, that will be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. In video games, Kingdom Hearts 3 all the way. Like, I'm a huge fangirl of Kingdom Hearts. I'm super looking forward to that. TV shows, Stranger Things, the 3rd season. I'm looking forward to that. I also still want to watch the new series of 13 Reasons Why. I've seen the 1st season. I liked it a lot, so I'm really interested how they will continue, because, you know, obviously the 2nd season won't follow the book anymore, because the book was only just a single book. So I'm looking forward where the story will go. And yeah, I still have to catch up with Game of Thrones, so I can say I'm looking forward to the new series or the new season of that, because I'm still somewhere in the middle of the already existing seasons. Conventions, I'm looking forward to SummerCon in Hungary, Summer MondaCon, because I will be attending that in less than a month. I will be in the Artist Alley, and I will hold a workshop where I will be teaching manga drawing techniques, and that will be a first for me, so I'm looking forward to that. Personal things like family. I'm really looking forward to going back to Canada, because yeah, I'm in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend, so it will be very, very good to go back and, you know, be together again. Of course, it will suck to leave my friends behind once again, my mother, my sister, and my family here. But yeah, that's how it works when you try to migrate to a new country and a new continent. Things I saw, we wouldn't have homes without those guys. This thought just came to me, but does Saturday AM pay its artists? You know, it differs for our creators. Those are informations I can't give out, because yeah, we do have NDAs. It differs for the creators. I'm not even sure about, you know, how all of our creators are getting. Like, I never looked into the contracts of others. I know what I make at Saturday AM by doing Saigami. I know my numbers. I do know other numbers, but, you know, those are informations I can't give out. So yeah, sorry, that's a question I can't answer properly, because that's company information. Screamheim, I gotta go, but it was a great live stream. Hopefully the next one will be as great. Sleep well. Thank you, and thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to the next. And yeah, good night. And that being said, I'm pretty much done with this artwork too. And yeah, it's it's way later than what I planned for this live stream to end at, so I think I'm gonna call it a night here too. I'm pretty much caught up with all of the questions you had. Let's see, things I saw, because I would have guessed it comes from Amazon sales. Sorry if it was too confidential. No, it's okay. It's a question many ask because, you know, if you're ambitious comic artist trying to make a living of manga, obviously those are questions you want to know. Yes, you know, just like with many other comic companies, just you should even think about Jump, for example. The majority of your income when you're a comic artist will come from these sales. So yeah. Links I said good night, Sunny. Peter first, good night, Sunny. Yeah, thank you very much for everyone who joined me. This was my second live stream. I had a blast. I had a great time. I did several artworks for my patrons on Patreon, and you know, you can read my manga series Saigami at Saturday AM. And you can find all of my social media links in the description or in my channel or on my other social media sites. And I really hope that many of you will be joining my next live stream as well. I will be drawing something else, probably girls, in my next live stream. But I will keep you updated on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and on the community page on my YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you very much and have a good night, everyone.